Hey guys, so what's a good name for an accounting business? Now, this is something that I get asked a lot, right? And if you're asking this question, you're totally not alone. This is like, most people when they're starting their accounting firm, this is the biggest thing in their mind. So I'm going to talk about 3 different types of business names. Which one's the easiest, like in the beginning, middle, and end, and long term for your business. So number 1 is going to be SEO based. Now, this is stuff that I've learned over I've been launching different businesses for the last like 12 years. I started my accounting and bookkeeping firm 10 years ago, back in 2015. Now, number 1 is going to be SEO-based businesses. So that's like if you ever go on like Google.com, it's like 1.0 a pizza place near me is like the name of the business listing. Like that's the name of the restaurant. They generally did that because they wanted to show up at the top of Google, right? So it's like different search terms that you think people would kind of like search up when they're looking for your type of business establishment. Now, it's not good or bad this, however, it is kind of like a little hack. Now, the problem with this is that Google always finds like people who do like hacks in the system. So what used to happen was people would like make a website and they would put like the background of their website would be like white. And they would go and like type a bunch of keyword phrases that people would be searching, and they put it on white to like blend in with the background so that a regular human couldn't see these long paragraphs of randomized like words and phrases, but the computer could. So anytime someone would type in pizza business near me, that would come to the top because you've said pizza business near me 100 times in those white words on the white background. But Google was like, oh, this is cheating. This is like people are gaming the system, so our customers are not going to be getting the best reviews or the best places. So we're going to eliminate that as a way you can like rank to the top. So now all these websites have all these like randomized words hidden inside the website that no longer do everything. The same thing with this name. So if you make the name kind of like a little hack to go up to the top, Google finds it out and then they put you at the bottom. Now when you're on page 100, it's like, ugh, what is this weird name for a business, right? And it just has no brand recognition, doesn't really give you much outside that little hack. And one other thing too is a lot of times it's going to backfire because when you start your business anyway, you're not going to start on page 1. You're going to have to work your way up there. So you're going to start on page like anywhere between 50 to 100, and then you're either going to go down or going to go up based on some activities you can do. Now, SEO for the times we're in, it's not necessarily the most effective. This was like back in 2005, 2007, 2010. I'd say it'd be really great. Nowadays, it's a lot harder. That's why a lot of SEO-based marketing companies are not really doing that well. So I would really stay away with stuff like this. You can have SEO within your website, but do not make that your business name. Next thing is going to be a creative-based name, like Busy Bee or Beautiful Books. Just something that has either like alliteration or it's cool or it's fun. The Wealthy Bookkeeper, right? Stuff like that. It's generally easier for you to build a long-term brand, and generally the name will have like more meaning behind it. But one thing that's bad with this is that even though it will have more meaning to you, it might not have that much meaning to regular people who don't even know who you are. Like strangers will not be able to do this. So you have to be really good at marketing in order for the creative name to stick and actually have meaning within someone else's mind, right? So that's probably better for if you're a little bit better at marketing, or if this is like your 3rd or 4th business and it's just something where you know you can be successful as fast as possible, you know what you're doing. Now, another thing that's really can be challenging about this is that sometimes it does take a while to brainstorm. And depending if you're like me and you're like a procrastinator, then it's going to cause you to like come up with this name. Like, oh, it's not the perfect name. It's a good name, but it's not perfect. It's not exactly what I want. And 3 months, 6 months, a year could go by while you're still building your name when you're really not in business, right? You should have instead be going and building your business first. So you're really wasting precious time. And the longer you kind of wait to go into your business and the longer you wait to actually attack, the more likely you're going to just kind of give up or just be like, oh, it's not worth it, or get distracted by life, or something's going to come up. So when you're starting your business, like speed is your ally. You need to move fast. You need to be moving through space, getting clients as quickly as possible. So you really want to kind of baseline the name, get a name that's good enough, because you can always just switch the business name. If you have an LLC, you can always do a DBA to whatever your new full business name is, right? Which kind of brings us to the next one, right? Which is a traditional name. So that could be anything like Bryce Tubbs Accounting, Bryce Tubbs Bookkeeping, depending on like what certifications and designations you have and where you're located. Bryce Tubbs Tax Strategy, Bryce Tubbs Tax Prep, right? It could be the name of your city. It could be Lansing Taxes, Lansing Accounting, Lansing Bookkeeping. Just simple names that are easy for people to recognize and remember, that already have built-in meaning that you can then get people to just associate with you. Now, if you're using your name as a traditional one, like Bryce Tubbs Bookkeeping, we'll say, for example, that's good in the beginning because it's easy to get referrals. right? Because your name would be synonymous with the business. Whenever the CPA says, okay, go find Bryce Tubbs. If they Google it, Bryce Tubbs is the only one's going to come up. If they ask around who is this Bryce Tubbs, everyone's going to know it. So it's easier to get people to be hooked to that name because you've been living and have your own personal brand for your entire life. So it's very quick to get started. Now it's also easiest if like doing local brand recognition because you don't have to like really have that widespread of an idea. If it's let's say it's like the city name. Everyone in your city knows what that name is. So you know city name plus bookkeeping. Very self-explanatory, very no-brainer for them to go because they feel local. They feel like, okay, this person's like me, I can do this, and they offer service I need, right? So it's a lot easier for you to like do the sales and the marketing. Now, one thing about this is that long-term it is harder to sell the business because you do have more key man risk. So if it's your first name, like so Bryce's bookkeeping, and I'm trying to sell it to a person, they're gonna have to change the name, right, in order for them to be able to like really manage it. They could maybe keep my name on there, like Bryce Avery Johnson bookkeeping, right? So now they added another name to it and they can slowly phase me out, but it's harder to sell and a lot of people are not really willing to sell because they think as soon as you leave and the name is changed, then all of your clients are going to leave to a certain degree. So in the beginning, what I would do is first I would do a traditional name, like get that as your LLC, or if you want to do your S Corp, whatever. In the beginning, I'd probably do an LLC just to protect yourself from liability. Like a lot of people are going to switch to an S Corp election, or they're going to have their LLC be taxed as an S Corp. But until you actually have some real money coming in, it's again not your main priority. Your main priority in the first year is getting traction, getting proof of concept, and getting proof that people are willing to pay you money. That's all your first year is about. I was talking to this person, she's like, what should I do for like my tax write-offs? Like, bro, you don't have tax write-offs. You don't even have a single dollar coming to your business. You gotta get the dollars coming to the business first, right? And so first you do a traditional one, right? Maybe it's a Bryce Tubbs LLC, right? And then as you start going, then you start building like more cash flow and you're kind of moving, right? Because like in the beginning, your goal is cash flow. You're not building a sellable business that's going to be a quadrillion-dollar business, your first $10 million business. It's very rare that someone's going to build $1 million or $10 million business on their first try. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that you can't get there, but if you're always doing everything like, okay, I have to build like a $10 million business, you're going to miss out on like the actual ability to get there. A lot of my friends have been talking about starting a business for like the last like 10, 15 years. Like even before, like when I first was getting into entrepreneurship, I had friends saying, I want to build a business. But as we're going, like, yeah, like you're making 100K a year, you're making 200K a year, you're making 300K a year, but like, I only want to do a business model that can get me to 100 million a year. It's like, okay. And they've been, kind of in their career for like the last like 12, 13 years and have never really gotten off the ground, right? Because it's very hard to find a $100 million business idea for your first business that you can actually make work, right? So in the beginning, you got to act like a small business owner to kind of get to that level where you could have the choice to be a big business owner, right? But first you do the traditional, get that brand recognition, get those referrals, get those traction going, maybe get to like 100, 200K per year. Then you can rebrand yourself to the creative name that you really want, right? So now you can start building a meaningful brand where you are cornering the market where no one else can take this name, no one else can be identified for this, and then you're able to kind of go. And then if you do want to eventually sell the business, you can, because now you have that unique name that's not based on an individual or based on a person, based on an idea that you are able to cultivate and pass off to someone else, okay? So that's how I think of a good business name. Traditional, then you go to creative, and then after a while, you can just keep going wherever you want, right? So in the beginning, you got to do it simple. Traditional means safe. Traditional means it's been done before. Then you go creative, and that's when you can take the risk because you've de-risked your business, you've already been making money, and now you're able to kind of do whatever you want, and it will succeed. Almost anything that I do within my existing business, no matter what I call it, no matter what the book's name that I call it, no matter if I tweak it, if I change the program name, it doesn't matter. It's going to be successful because I have the traction, and I know how to get people to get behind an idea that I have. Okay? So hopefully this video helped you out. Hopefully this helps you pick out a name. Also, if you want some help, like if you probably haven't figured out by now, naming your business is not the biggest deal. Getting clients, growing the businesses. So if you're starting your business, you're like, hey, I thought this was super important. I guess I don't really know exactly what is the stuff that's important. Then I'd probably recommend you go in and look into a mentorship program. Now, our mentorship program will help you with everything from starting your practice all the way to hitting your first 6 figures per year so you can live a life of freedom, peace, and joy. If that's something you want to look more into and you want to learn more, see if we can help you out, click the link inside the video, either above or below the video, to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program, okay? I will talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Talk to you soon.